Okay, this is a continuation here. Ah, that thing didn't come on. I wonder if it will come on. Hmm, strange. Okay, continue here. As Sally and Seiko talked on, Daniel looked at Sally's MySpace page. A few minutes later, the talk with Seiko ended, and another talk with Daniel went on as Seiko talked about how her day went. As she talked on, Daniel thought to himself, so her boyfriend's name is Robin Wood. Sally Woods and Robin Wood. That's a coincidence. When Daniel said, I love you, they hung up. He then asked Sally, well, what'd you think of her? Inquisitive, isn't she? Gad, did you have to be so truthful with her? I mean, even I was wanting to have sex with myself when you were done describing me to her, and I'm not even a lesbian, said Sally with concern. Yes, I had to be truthful with her, said Daniel. If your spouse finds you untruthful in just one little matter, they start feeling insecure in their lives, like they could be living a lie. How can they ever trust you completely with anything else if they catch you lying, even with a little lie? I even let Seiko know that I sometimes think of having sex with other girls when I'm making love to her. You tell her that? Sally almost shouted with great shock. Well, she thinks of other guys when she's having sex with me, smiled Daniel. What? She told you that? Asked an astounded Sally. Well, not exactly. But she likes to have the lights out when we're making out. I never bring it up, though, because it probably would put her on the defensive. I'm betting she's thinking of John Wayne or someone she sees as more manly for her. I don't care. She still loves me. I know she does. And she knows I love her. I mean, I know that vibrator I bought her for her birthday gets her more hot and bothered than I ever could. Should I be jealous of that contraption? Yet I know she loves me more than that machine. As Sally looked like she was in deep thought from all that she heard, Daniel started reporting into his journal again. He again suddenly felt compelled to check out Sally's MySpace account again, to not only see those sexy pictures of Sally, but to see if he could learn anything about her boyfriend, Robin Wood. Daniel tried to focus on what she had to say, but the sexy pictures of her were like a siren song to a tethered Odysseus's ear. Try as he may, he just couldn't turn away from them. The captions she put with them seemed to be designed to make even a flaming gay guy want to have to self-pleasure to. Lucky ostrich feather, Daniel mumbled to himself. Strange, thought Daniel on seeing other pictures. He thought to keep a level, spiritually minded head over the other that was now fully engorged. God, don't, don't make me out to be a liar to my wife, he prayed, feeling fear that the animal might win over the spiritual after all. Suddenly, despite the feelings of sexual euphoria, Daniel noticed something off about the pictures. Something was not right about them for sure. In every single picture, Sally had the same hairstyle. In every single picture, Sally looked the same age. It was as if she made that account all in one day, then left it alone. And again, where were the friends? A staggeringly pretty, sexy human being like her with no boyfriends, with no friends, no boyfriends, not even girlfriends. The word strange was all Daniel could think of now. Daniel stared ahead. His eyes wanted to focus on Sally's creamy... Yeah, Daniel stared ahead. His eyes wanted to focus on Sally's creamy, smooth, lovely, long legs that were on the verge of almost being too plump for his taste, but he just fought the urge and stared ahead, all the while wondering why. If she had a workable cell phone after all, she didn't stay in her boyfriend's car and call for a tow truck from Ely, Nevada. Sure, it was far and costly, but oh well. Maybe she was reading into things, she thought. Maybe he was reading into things, he thought. Daniel started tapping on his computer, hitting any letter at random. He then went back to his computerized diary and started typing there, hitting the same button a lot. He placed a CD into the laptop, burned his diary onto it, take it out of the laptop, and place it in a special open compartment up above the top bunk. Then he'd take the flash drive and start downloading what he was saying onto that. The tapping went on into the night. So far, Daniel heard no snoring from Sally. Maybe she's too young and in shape to snore, Daniel wondered. An hour of typing and burning turned into 2 hours, then 3. In the fourth hour, Sally asked, "Man, do you ever sleep?" Daniel stopped typing. He then said, "As the old saying goes, it takes a special breed to be a truck driving man. Actually, I do. The thing is, though, I've been through so much today that I still feel jazzed. It's not often that I escape death from Muslims and pick up a cute babe in my truck all in one day. Such stuff has given me a lot to write about, a lot to think about. But does my typing bother you? I'll stop it if it does." Sally thought about it and said, "No." Suddenly her phone made music again. "Another text message?" asked Daniel. There was a pause. Sally then said, "Yes." "Are you going to find out what he said?" asked Daniel, typing away on his laptop. Sally read the message but didn't say anything. "Well, what did he say?" asked Daniel. Sally said in a monotone, "He's going to pick me up after he shoots you." Daniel smiled and said, "Thinks I want to cheat on my wife by hooking up with you, does he? Hey, at least he doesn't think I'm into Broadway show tunes." Daniel heard Sally text messaging. There was a pause. After the sound of text messaging coming back, there was another pause. Sally text messaged back again. After another long pause, the sound of returning text message came back. There was no response from Sally, and there was no response, and there was no more sound of another text message. Daniel then asked, "Well, are you going to go back to him? If he's going to kill me, he should become a Muslim first. It will serve him right." Daniel suddenly heard the sound of crying. He looked down over the bunk, saw Sally crying with her hands covering her face. Daniel, feeling really concerned, said, "Well, the guy is really bothering you, isn't he? You don't have to go back to him. You're young, very pretty, and you can get some guy far better than that bastard, believe me." Sally didn't say anything. Her hands continued to cover her eyes as she cried. "Just sleep on it. He won't come and kill me. If I survived what I went through today, I bet I'll even survive him. Well, God willing, I will. I leave it up to God whether I do or don't now. Another hour went by, and Daniel was still typing away on his computer. Daniel stopped and said, "Man, it's going to be dawn soon. I don't know what it is, but I just can't sleep. How about you?" And Daniel continued to hit letters on his laptop. Down on the bunk below, Sally started crying again. She then nearly shouted, "You can't be what you appear to be. You can't be." Yeah. She shouted, let's see here. Okay, then, yeah. And Daniel continued to hit letters on his laptop. Down on the bunk below, Sally started crying again. She nearly shouted, "You can't be what you appear to be. You can't be what you appear to be. You are a liar, a filthy, evil liar. Everything you said about Allah's apostle is a lie." Sally lifted up her magnum, pulled back the hammer, and shouted, "Allahu Akbar!" Blam, 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 with the magnum up at the bunk Daniel was lying on. The noise on the magnum in the truck was deafening. When the ringing in Sally's ears faded, a coldness began to settle around her. She felt horrible, but it was what her Muslim husband had told her to do. Yeah, blam, 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 with the magnum up at the bunk Daniel was lying on. The noise of the magnum in the truck was deafening. When the ringing in Sally's ears faded, a coldness began to settle around her. She felt horrible, but it was what her Muslim husband had told her to do. Besides, there was no way Daniel could have been telling the truth about Islam, she thought. She cried and threw down the gun, feeling horrible. She actually wondered if all that Daniel told her about Islam was true. She then stumbled over to the control panel and pulled out Daniel's Pikachu doll. He had told her had the flash drive sewed into it. This will be continued.